Question: is your life impersonating your dreams? Is your relationships, or the relationship that you're currently in, is it impersonating the dream that you have for your relationship, aka marriage? Let's talk about it. Well, hello there. I am Cynthia Wright, creator and founder of The Waiting Room Life, and welcome back to the channel for you regular ladies. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. So I really wanted to have a very relaxed conversation, I think, in my mind anyway, because the other day I feel like the Lord asked me a question. And it's just been swirling around in my spirit, and I've really just been contemplating what he asked of me. And it was just very simple. Is your life imitating your dreams? And I can't even remember exactly what I was doing when I heard that, but I remember stopping and I was really thinking, and I was like, is my life impersonating my dreams? And I have just been thinking about that, and I'm starting to see certain areas that have become imposters, right? Certain things in my life are impersonating the things that I really desire. And so as I was thinking about that for myself, I really wanted to ask you ladies that very same question. And I think this is more so for you ladies who are currently in a relationship, right? Or you've met someone, you are maybe about to start spending time with this person, this suitor, to see if he's a good match for your heart and your life. And I really want to invite you to begin to look and analyze, to really determine, is the relationship that you're currently in impersonating that thing that's burning in your heart, right? And I think about, even before I was saved, right, the type of relationships that I would have with men, and they were just so jacked up. I mean, they were so jacked up. But here's the bad part. I think it was the fact that the dysfunctional relationships that I had were my normal, right? Like, I didn't even realize that there was anything better. And a lot of that ignorance, or that lack of knowledge, was because of my reference points, right? Like the things that my mother told me about relationships, the things that I witnessed and the type of relationships that my mother had, and then the type of relationships that I had that validated the dysfunctional expectation. Like, I didn't know that there was a such thing as a man who was looking for one woman, right? I really did not know that there was a such thing as a man who really did not want a girlfriend, but really wanted a wife. I really didn't know that there were men out there who understood how a woman should be treated, right? They had good mothers who were role models. They, whether it was before they got saved, their family structure and influence was very healthy, so they had healthy perspectives of what relationships look like and how women should be treated, or whether or not it was after they got saved and they had their minds became renewed, to certain. Like, I just did not know that there was a such thing as a good man in life. And so because that was not a reference point in my life, it was never an experience, I literally believe that it wasn't a thing. And so the type of relationships that I found myself having were substandard, right? Like, they were relationships that I just settled for. And so I would have these, and I'm sure this is relatable, like, right? So even though I came to a point where I desired to be like the only one, like I wanted somebody to want me exclusively. And so even though that's what I wanted, I never got that. And so I settled for being the other chick to the other chick. Okay, like then my desire was like, okay, can I just be like the main girl, you know? And so even as I reflect on that, right, and how I settled in those areas, and now the question that God has asked me, you know, is my life, my current situation, certain things in my life, are they impersonating my dreams? And so and I actually looked up that word impersonate, right? Because I like to put words into perspective. And that word means to assume the character or appearance of, or to pretend to be. And when I think about even, and I'm talking about from a relationship perspective, how some of the relationships, let me say all the relationships until I got married, they were pretend relationships of what I wanted, right? So once I got saved, I desired to be married. And so even the first relationship that I got into before I met and married my husband, it was that pretend marriage situation, right? So we were initially, exclusive. We're playing house. We're doing the things. I would spend the night at his place, and, he would spend the night at, my place, and different things like that. And then, because of how God created a woman, it's programmed in us to start helping. So I'm helping him with his business and, and all of that. And I look up, right? And 2 years later down the road, I am no closer to a committed, Christ-centered marriage than I was when I first met him. So that whole 2 years was just an illusion and impersonation of what I wanted. And in retrospect, anytime I have had anything in let's just say relationships, impersonated my dream of being a wife, being married, and all of that, it was a direct correlation between what I believed was or was not possible for me. And it didn't matter, what I saw in other people. It was the direct line back to what did I believe was possible for me. And so because I didn't have a reference point of anything healthy, anything exclusive, I found that I would always settle for the impersonation. So I really want to challenge you ladies who are currently in a relationship. And you might be at the point in a relationship, like you have to make a decision. Like it could be something to the degree you've been dating this guy who has, stated emphatically, oh, I want to be married. But it's 3 years later and there's no real evidence of it. You guys might be living together, talking about living together. Your monies are commingled. You're pretending, like you're playing house, right? You're spending the night at his place. You might have even, you might even be living together, just all that stuff. But is that relationship what you truly desire, right? Because some men are really good. They have really mastered the thing of the string you along, right? Say things just at the right time to, keep you engaged and keep you holding on, because they don't want more than what they have, but they don't want to let you go so that you can position yourself to get what your heart desires. So you might be the woman who has met somebody, right? And then I challenge you to enter into this relationship, eyes wide open, being intentional about where it is you desire that relationship to go, being very clear about what it is that you want so that you're not wasting time. Because I'm going to tell you something, ladies. For those of you who are 30, I get it. You know, you've been waiting for a long time. Hey, but once you hit that 40 mark, I don't know, it just feels a little different. And listen, I even remember, even before I was saved, I had this thing about somebody wasting my time. And the older I got, I really have a thing about people wasting my time. Because listen, you can, like, let's just say somebody steals some money off of your debit card. You know, somebody makes some charges on your credit card. You can get that back. Once you spend your time, it's gone. And you can never get that time back. So I want to challenge you. So this is where I am. You know, God asked me that question. I am, you know, looking at some things in my life, and I can definitely say there's a couple of things that are impersonating some things that I really desire. So I need to make some adjustments, right? And the adjustment that I first need to make is in my mind. Because in those areas, I can clearly see that I am settling once again. And why? Because I haven't really walked to that place of Bible faith to know that there's those areas that I really have a heart's desire, that I've envisioned, my dream, right? My desire in those areas. I don't believe that they're possible. And I always am willing to do introspection, right? Like, I don't want to walk my whole life in this illusion of anything when God has positioned us for more. So I want to challenge you. So I am going to continue to look at these areas, figure out what adjustments I need to make. And I pretty much know. And it starts with my mindset, right? Because the Bible says for us to be transformed, right? To be changed. How? By renewing my mind. And so I challenge you, for those ladies who are currently in relationships, and if your dream and your desire is to be married, ask yourself, is the current relationship that I'm in, is it impersonating my dream to be married, my desire to be married? And if you've been in that thing, and I'm just going to say at 3 years, and you're no closer to being married, and I'm just going to be honest, to me 3 years is even a long time, because what I have come to understand, it does not take a man long to know whether or not you are the one, right? So take a look at your circumstance. And for you ladies who are, you know, maybe have not yet met the one, right? Met any suitors, you too need to be clear about what it is you desire. And at every step of the way, you want to be gauging that relationship. Listen, is this lining up with what I want? You know, what adjustments, you know, do I need to make? How long am I willing to spend my time, you know, with this person? So for me, as I look at my mindset, because more often than not, that's where the deception takes place, is in our mind. And when you find yourself settling, right, it will always be more than likely because you don't believe that better is possible for you. And we are really good at, you know, looking at other people sometimes and, you know, rejoicing with them and knowing God can do it for them, but we don't believe that God can do it for us. Now, this month, I had a mindset challenge. It was a 5-day Think Like Christ challenge, right? And I am going to be holding that challenge again in September. So check the description to get the information. The date, I think it's the 26th. I'm almost sure it is September the 26th, 5 days. And we had, for those ladies who joined that challenge, it was an awesome time. We had a really good experience and bonding moment, and it was all about this thing that I'm talking about. Like, we have to learn how to shift our thinking, because that is like the initial point of attack that the enemy has for us, is to deceive us into thinking or believing that less is our best, and that our desire is there but is not attainable, or is so hard, or is in the distance. No ma'am, no ma'am. And I want to challenge you to stretch your thinking. So in what I just talked about today, begin to do that analysis, evaluate your relationships. I also want to invite you ladies who want to be challenged in your thinking, challenged in your mindset, those ladies who want to be transformed by the renewing of their mind, change how you think so that you can get what you want. Check the description for the details about next month's challenge. So, okay, ladies, that is all that I have for you today. As always, like, share, and subscribe to the channel if it is a blessing to you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.